Summer's here, and Nordstrom has everything you need for your best dress season ever. From beach days and weddings to weekend getaways and your everyday wardrobe. Discover stylish options under $100 from tons of your favorite brands like Mango, Skims, Princess Polly, and Madewell. It's easy too with free shipping and free returns, in-store order pickup, and more. Shop today in stores, online at Nordstrom.com, or download the Nordstrom app.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
This is Optimal Health Daily, The Former Fat Boy Syndrome, Part 2, by Deen of JCDfitness.com. And I'm Dr. Neil Malik, your narrator of blogs covering health and fitness. I read to you from some of the most popular blogs out there, with permission from the authors, of course. Now, today's post is a continuation from yesterday, so if you're new here or skipping around, definitely check out yesterday's episode first. And it's midweek, so I like to share an inspirational quote with you to help you hopefully get over that midweek hump. And I just so happened to be listening to an audiobook, and I heard this quote, and I thought it was just perfect given today's topic. So here we go. Quote, "Your past doesn't define you. It prepares you." Darren Hardy. So I happened to be listening to Darren Hardy's book, Living Your Best Year Ever. And as I'm driving, I'm hearing all these wonderful little nuggets. I'm like, ooh, I could use that. Oh, I love that quote. And so I ended up kind of Googling some of his best quotes, and this one came up. And so today you're going to hear about JC's past and how he overcame some of those obstacles. So let's get right to part 2 and continue optimizing your life. The Former Fat Boy Syndrome, Part 2, by Deen of JCDfitness.com. The cycle begins. So now that he's been on a diet for the last 2 weeks, the water has dropped, and the end result is only about a net gain of 1 to 2 pounds. He actually kind of likes what he sees in the mirror again, and decides to immediately go back to his previous muscle building plan. However, this time, he decides to cut his surplus calories in half and utilize a slower approach. Subconsciously, he doesn't want to repeat his last mistake of gaining too quickly, so he starts to increase his activity outside of training. He now walks to the store instead of driving. He parks further away from campus to get some extra walking in. Guess what happens? His supposed caloric surplus has now become his maintenance intake. 8 more weeks go by, and progress is slowing down. He is worn out, depressed, and experiencing the general crappy feelings that come along as a result of not eating enough coupled with too much activity. In the name of progress, he decides to increase his calories again, but reverts back to a fat loss diet after another water retention mishap. He woke up bloated from eating too much birthday cake and decided he hates life. Time to diet. As you might imagine, this cycle goes on and on and on. It seems that it will never end. I have concluded this is likely the number one reason most folks quit and give up. They just decide their goals are impossible to reach. Therefore, it's easier to just pick another hobby. Is there a solution? Sure there is. There's always a solution. However, that solution may not always be the one you want. The solution is time plus consistent effort towards one goal equals success. There's really not much more to it. The only reason my previous FFB example did not succeed is because he wasn't objective enough to set a goal and work towards it with 100% focus and effort. He kept swaying back and forth because his emotions about how he viewed himself were stronger than what he wanted for the long term. The truth is, when you want to build your ideal physique, you must have clear goals and be willing to do what it takes to achieve them. You must realize you can't stay super lean all the time and build serious mass at the same time. Either you accept some fat gain and get to work, or you keep going back and forth between bulking and dieting cycles, only to spin your wheels for years. Something you must realize is when you constantly switch between hypercaloric and hypocaloric states, your body is never really primed to gain much mass. The hormonal environment is never stable enough to make any appreciable gains. This is why so many guys remain skinny fat, because they never make a decision to train and gain weight consistently. Think for at least 12 weeks at a time. Instead, they spin their wheels into oblivion. Now, before any assumptions are made, I'm not suggesting you make a whale out of yourself in the name of building the most mass. It's not fun to carry all that extra weight, and dieting it all off takes a long time. Don't let your body fat get out of hand, but don't let a little water retention and temporary loss of your abs deter you from working toward your ultimate goals. A few tips for all the FFBs. If you follow these criteria, remain objective, and work aggressively toward your goals, you are sure to succeed. Tip number 1, decide you're going to gain weight and strength consistently. No excuses. Tip number 2, give yourself a time frame, think 12 or more weeks, to make specific gains in strength and performance. Tip number 3, forget about maintaining a full row of abs. Fat can always be lost, and you'll always look much better with more muscle anyway. Tip number 4, other folks aren't as interested as we are about being lean. They don't really care that much as long as you don't become a slob. Charm is more important in this regard. Tip number 5, hire a coach if you cannot be objective and hold yourself accountable to your goals. And number 6, don't make any excuses. There you go. Now you know my no BS approach when it comes to all the mental hangups us FFBs deal with. You just listened to part 2 of the post titled The Former Fat Boy Syndrome by JC Deen of JCDfitness.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary.
Oikos presents 15 Seconds of Strength.
Here we go. Steve's got a trunk full of groceries and no one to help him.
Oh, that's tough, Jim. Looks like a 5-trip load at least.
He grabs the first bag, the second. Bob, it looks like he's trying to do it all in one trip. He shimmies the door open, steps over the dog, and he stumbles.
Oh, right into the kitchen without missing a beat. Jim, now that's a man who eats his protein-packed Oikos.
With 15 grams of complete protein in each cup, Oikos Triple Zero can help build strength for every day. Oikos, stronger makes everything better.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it filters out incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster, and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. One of the other not-so-great effects of hyper and hypocaloric cycling, meaning you'll go a few weeks where you eat a ton of food to try and bulk up, and then you realize, oh, I've eaten too much, now I've got to cut that back, and then you go on like a starvation diet. One of the side effects to that is actually you end up losing muscle mass. And that's totally counterproductive, right? You're trying to gain muscle, you're not trying to lose it. But there's the potential for when you go into that hypocaloric state especially, the body may break down muscle for fuel. And so JC has the right idea in that stay consistent. You don't need to eat the exact same number of calories every day, so don't get me wrong. But if you're fairly consistent and gently increase and decrease your calories, that's fine. I know for me, I don't eat the exact same number of calories every day. That just doesn't happen. You'd have to be a food scientist and weigh everything out to the gram in order for that to happen. But slight changes up or down, either way, your body can deal with that. It's those crazy, I'm going to overconsume or really, really underconsume. That's when we start to see some of that breakdown happening. That's it for today. I hope you're having a great week so far. Thank you as always for listening. I'll be back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.